Good morning or good afternoon. Welcome to my cell city analogy video, and for my team, I decided to use a military base. I will show the map after a few seconds, and without further ado, let's get started with the video. First of all, we have the nucleus, which is represented by the general's tent. They work in similar ways since the general's tent announces the actions that the army should do, while the nucleus controls the cellular activities of a cell. Next up is the chromosome, which is represented by the general. The general constructs the actions on what the army should do, which is then later announced by the general's tent. The same way the chromosome dictates the actions on what the nucleus should do. Next up is the mitochondria, which is represented by the electric generators. The electric generators generate the energy for the machinery of the army, while the mitochondria works in a similar way, but instead it gives energy to the cell organelles. Next up is the cell membrane, which is represented by the toll gates. The toll gates will screen everything and everyone who is trying to get an entry or an exit to the military base. In the same way, the cell membrane will screen all the substances that are trying to get inside or outside the cell. Next up are the lysosomes, which are represented by the soldiers. The soldiers will defend the military base from any foreign invaders. The same way the lysosomes will defend the cell from any foreign substances. Next up is the protein, which is represented by food. Food is the main source of energy by the military, which helps them maintain the quality of their day-to-day activities. In the same way, the protein maintains the structure of the cell. Next up is the ribosome, which is represented by the restaurant. The restaurant makes the food for the whole military. In the same way, the ribosome makes the protein for the cell organelles. Next up is the Golgi apparatus, which is represented by the delivery boys. The delivery boys will pack the food and then deliver them to the other military personnel. In the same way, the Golgi apparatus packs the protein and then delivers them to the other cell organelles. Next up is the endoplasmic reticulum, which is represented by the road. The road is where all the transportation of the military happens. In the same way, all of the transportation of cells happen in the endoplasmic reticulum. Lastly is the vacuole, which is represented by the dump trucks. The dump trucks will gather the waste of the military base and then dispose them later on. The same way the vacuole disposes the waste inside of the cell. And that is all for my cell city analogy. If you like the video, please leave a thumbs up and maybe even a comment. That's all, and thank you for watching. Peace.